We asked the children, how many of you brushed this morning? And this little boy, his hand didn't go up. And I said, well, why didn't you brush this morning? He said, my brother was using the toothbrush. If I'd waited for him, I would have been late for school. I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional when it comes to that. To be able to change a child's life, to be able to bring back that confidence about their smile, for me, is phenomenal.
Imagine a future where you can enjoy the fruits of your hard work without financial worries. A time when you can truly relax, travel, and pursue your passions. To achieve that dream, you need to plan today. With the cost of living constantly rising and inflation showing no signs of slowing down, the money you need today will be nearly 10 times higher by the time you retire. Without a solid retirement plan, you risk financial insecurity when your active income stops. That's why saving for retirement is necessary. Regardless of your age, it's never too early or too late to start planning. Engage with experts from any RBA-registered individual pension plan for guidance in tailoring a retirement strategy based on your current lifestyle, future goals, and desired retirement age. This provides the fixed regular income you'll need after retirement to ensure you live comfortably without compromising your quality of life. The earlier you start saving, the more secure your future will be. Start saving for your retirement today and live your golden years the way you've always dreamed. For more information, visit our website www.rba.go.ke, call our toll-free line 0800 720 300 or email info@rba.go.ke. Secure your future. Secure your peace of mind. RBA, safeguarding your retirement benefits.
Well, good evening. You're tuned to Sunday Express on KBC Channel 1. I'm Regina. Manyara, being the 17th of November 2024. I'm already seeing the Christmas decorations up. Well, it is November. We're about to start the festive season. So tonight, we're going to be talking about a sensitive matter. And this is tackling, or rather having to do with persons often vilified for the duties that they have to perform. Yet they carry the heaviest burden when it comes to post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as increased number of suicide cases in this demographic, as well as depression. In not too long, we're going to be looking at why we need psychosocial support for our men and women in uniform on tonight, Sunday Express. But before we get to our conversation tonight, let's just give you a sneak peek of the news that is awaiting you in not too long in the headlines.
Mumesema watu wengi wananisukuma sana, wewe fanya, lazima ufanye hii, lazima ufanye hivi. Na hiyo mimi nakubali kwa sababu hii Kenya lazima itabadilika.
The president bows to criticism by the Catholic bishops promising to resolve challenges in healthcare and education. Ensuring sure works. The government settles quarter of the outstanding bills owed to health service providers by the defunct NHIF. The poor state of roads is to blame for accidents in the country. And reducing deaths of preterm babies. 4 counties receive incubators as Kenya marks World Prematurity Day.
Good evening once again. I'm Regina Manyara, and my colleague on sign language is none other than Lancer Ondingo. Now, President William Ruto has bowed to criticism by the Catholic bishop, saying he will ensure government systems, including healthcare and education, work. However, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, who spoke separately in Kirinyaga County, asked the church to correct the government with respect. On his side, however, is former Deputy President turned government critic Rigathi Gachagua, who spoke in Kajiado, saying the government must accept criticism from the clergy. Give us on Minor with a report.
The Catholic bishop seems to have found new allies against their criticism by the president for calling out his government of unfulfilled promises.
When the government fails to fulfill its promises, particularly concerning payments to essential service providers, it harms vulnerable communities.
At a Sunday service at PCA Church Kerarapon in Kajiado North, in Kajiado County, former Deputy President turned a government critique and his allies defended the clergy, saying the voice of the church is the voice of Kenyans and therefore must be respected.
Wengine walaumiwe wajibu. Mimi ni mtu sasa ya kuangalia. Hata Uhuru Kenyatta, president wetu jana alisema yana angalia TV, anasikiza radio. Hata mimi naangalia TV, nasikiza radio. Wacha wale wanaendesha wafanye nini? Lakini waheshimu viongozi wetu wa kidini.
Sentiments echoed by opposition leaders allied to Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka.
Wale viongozi wa kanisa walitusiwa. Tafadhali tunaomba rais na watu wake waombe msamaha kwa Mungu. Kwanza ndio waombe msamaha kwa wananchi.
Similar criticism came from a group of senators attending a church service in Kitui.
Sisi hata kama mimi mwenyewe nimechaguliwa na chama cha UDA na kwa hivyo mimi ni kwa upande wa serikali, lakini hatutakubali kamwe maaskofu wetu wakosewe heshima na
And so this tiff between the president and the Catholic bishops lingered around Soweto Catholic Church in Embakasi East in Nairobi, where President William Ruto graced the service.
Na kama kanisa pia kuna mambo ambayo tumeleta kwako kupitia maaskofu wetu, tukikusii uweze kuangalia hayo mambo kwa undani, uangazie uone vile utasaidia sio Wakristo pekee bali ni wananchi wote.
He, however, conceded and vowed to ensure smooth operations in the healthcare, education and other government systems.
Kwa yale mambo Papa Paroko amesema, yale alisema na viongozi wetu wa dini, mimi nimewaambia, we will work with every stakeholder to make sure that this affordable health, universal health coverage succeeds.
Hata barua ama salamu ulizopata rais juzi kutoka kwa mabishop wetu wa Katoliki, yote hayo tunakushukuru, you have taken them in your stride.
The president calling for patience as he focuses on delivering his campaign promises.
Hii Kenya lazima itabadilika. And I am determined to change this country. By the grace of God, this country is not going to remain the same. That we are going to deliver on food security. That we are going to deliver on affordable housing. That we are going to deliver on universal health.
His deputy, Professor Kithure Kindiki, who graced a service at AIPCA Church in Kirinyaga County, however, did not take the bishop's criticism lightly, calling for respect.
Utawala huu ama serikali iliyopo sasa haina vita vyovyote na kanisa. Sisi tunajua ya kwamba serikali za kiulimwengu, serikali za hapa ulimwenguni zinaongozwa na wanadamu. Na wanadamu saa zingine ile bidii yetu haikuangi kamili.
Give us Manyara, Sunday Express.
At the same time, Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa says at least a quarter of the outstanding bills owed to health service providers by the defunct National Health Insurance Fund have been cleared. Speaking in West Pokot, Dr. Barasa said another 2.5 billion shillings will be disbursed to the health service providers by end of the coming week. NHIF owes health service providers at least 19 billion shillings, a pending bill that is threatening the transition to Social Health Authority.
Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa was in West Pokot County Referral Hospital to check on progress of the enrollment of Kenyans to Social Health Authority. Dr. Barasa confirmed that 5 billion shillings had already been paid to health service providers owed by the defunct National Health Insurance Fund, and a further 2.5 billion shillings will be disbursed by the end of the coming week. The Cabinet Secretary assuring Kenyans the government will resolve the challenges facing the rollout of the new health scheme.
Regarding the NHIF bill, we had a bill of 19 billion and we have been able to pay 5 billion, and another 2.5 billion is coming in the coming weeks. And by the end of this month of November, all the contracted facilities will be receiving their first Social Health Authority payment. And so we want to hear the feedback from you. How has the experience been?
Kapenguria County Referral Hospital, which serves patients from neighboring Uganda, South Sudan and Ethiopia, has already registered patients under SHA system, with services being delivered across various departments. Dr. Barasa acknowledged lack of civic education in remote areas on health insurance as a challenge facing implementation of SHA.
And when we come up with interventions, part of it we should give targets to our political elite, targets in terms of community sensitization and how many people are being registered. Because as we engage and interact, we see that services are actually being offered and people are actually being seen under the Social Health Authority, but the challenge has been the sensitization component.
She assured that expectant women can access services under Linda Mama program, contrary to claims that it had been scrapped. Geshok Washira, Sunday Express.
Still on health, Kilifi, Lamu, Tana River and Garissa counties have received a donation of incubators from Okoa Malkia program in a move to reduce deaths of preterm babies in the region. During the World Prematurity Day celebrations, maternal and child health champions emphasized the importance of incubators for the care of preterm babies. This year's World Prematurity Day was marked under the theme, over 13 million babies born prematurely every year, access to quality care everywhere.
Malindi Sub-County Hospital in Kilifi County hosted national celebrations to mark World Prematurity Day with key maternal and child health stakeholders in attendance. During the occasion, incubators were donated to benefit preemies in Kilifi, Lamu, Tana River and Garissa counties courtesy of the Okoa Malaika program.
Prematurity Day, which is marked annually and worldwide on the 17th of November, but also because it represents 1 year. It represents a 1 year milestone in the Okoa Malaika Safari.
So far, Okoa Malaika program, with the support of partners, has donated incubators to 20 counties. The patron, Tessie Musalia, noted the high impact intervention the program and other organizations has made to ensure preterm babies survive and thrive.
Okoa Malaika is an infant preterm program distributing neonatal equipment to medical facilities in Kenya to ensure the well-being of mother and child.
Lamu Governor Issa Timami acknowledged the high demand for incubators, which are crucial in the care of preemies.
Ni jukumu letu kuhakikisha mwanzo tunawaelimisha wananchi, na pili, wizara zote za afya katika kaunti zetu tuwe tumejipanga na kuhakikisha kuwa hii SHA imekuwa successful katika kaunti zetu na nchi yetu.
Kilifi County Deputy Governor Flora Chibule said they will put systems to prevent death of premature babies.
Our county will also reinforce preventive measures to ensure quality care for the babies to reduce complication encourage care by preterm babies by highlighting the risks associated with preterm birth.
According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, preterm birth remains the leading cause of death for children under 5. It is estimated that 13.4 million babies are born prematurely worldwide every year. Martini Maslin for Sunday Express.
We'll be back in a few. Do not go away.
Rahisisha uwezo wako wa ushindi kwa kukuwa memba wa Loto Moto, na ni rahisi. Dial star 570 hash. Ukiwa memba ni rahisi kufika kwenye jukwaa hili ili kujaribu mchezo wetu wa Loto Moto Show. Pia kama memba unajipa nafasi rahisi ya kuingia kwenye promotion zetu zinazokupa nafasi ya kujishindia chapaa na zawadi kibao kama TV, friji, pikipiki, mashamba na pia magari. Kuwa memba ni star 570 hash, tushinde kama memba.
Mamlaka ya ukusanyaji ushuru nchini inakuletea kampeni ya umma ya G-Nice na Risiti Legit. Thibitisha risiti yako ukitumia app ya Risiti Legit, upate nafasi ya kuibuka mshindi wa zawadi kemkem kama vile shilingi milioni 1 pesa taslim, laptops, televisheni ya inchi 50, smartphones na zawadi zingine. Jumanne tarehe 19 tutakuwa Nakuru, maeneo ya Naivasha, Gilgil, Nyahururu, Olkalau, Subukia, Bahati, Langa na kishowe tarehe 20 tutakuwa Nakuru Town na viunga vyake, Njoro, Elbagon, Molo na Mau Summit. Pata app ya Risiti Legit kwa Google Play Store au App Store kwa maelezo ya kuingia katika mashindano ya Risiti Legit. G-Nice na Risiti Legit. KRA, tulipe ushuru tujitegemee.
Guys, this school is relocating.
Hey, this mother tongue thing is actually taking a toll on you. Eat before you eat.
Hey teacher, how are the three of you doing today? Mwalimu, by the way, our volunteer twins doing inside the test, don't mind.
Twins, eh? Mtu akona twins anaweza kuwa alikuwa na mwaga chawa, hiyo design alikuwa na mwaga chawa jana.
Oh, sorry guys, blame it on the baby's brain, Very, very forgetful.
Welcome back. Kisumu County Transport Management Committee is pointing an accusing finger at some of the road networks in the county as a possible contributor to the rising cases of accidents. During the commemoration of the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims at the Jomo Kenyatta grounds, the committee also proposed review of road designs in the Kisumu Central Business District for more convenient and safe usage of the roads. Achola Simon with the details.
As the world marks the Remembrance Day of the accident victims, Kisumu County Transport Management Committee is pointing an accusing finger at some of the road networks in the county as a possible contributor to accidents.
For example, the main black spot, that one of the Coptic Mamboleo roundabout, working with the Kenha, we have already seen there is increase of rubble strips. We have also worked with the Kenha to have the danger signs, the signages erected and clear, which is now in place. And then the road markings have also been increased, and the county government has also assisted us to have the lighting at night to be clear.
The team that comprises officials from the county, Kenya National Transport and Safety Authority, and Kenya National Highways Authority has pointed out black spots along Kisumu Kakamega Road, Kisumu Busia Road and Kisumu Homa Bay Road as areas that need improvement to avert more accidents.
One of the activities we proposed in that particular site and within the section of that road is the removal of that roundabout at Kopti. Total removal or reduction in the design of that roundabout and the radius so that we can be able to, the vehicles and the driver can achieve some level of equilibrium as they move down into town.
what actually needs to go out is the road user behavior, the behavior of the drivers. We need to be keen. If we are keen, we should be able to go towards nil instances.
They also say a change of attitude of road users will help curb road carnage in the region. Traffic police officers too have come under fire for turning a blind eye on public service vehicles flouting traffic rules.
These are the issues that when we are sincere, when we are honest, when we are human beings, and we are remembering people who sometimes would have been alive today, we must change the way we do our things.
But usually in corruption they say it takes two to tango. So you as a matatu driver or a rider, you want to be part of whatever skill. Ensure your car is always in good condition, you have followed the law, that you have the insurance, and we have the insurance regulatory authority.
Kenya loses in excess of 3,000 people annually due to accidents mainly occasioned by human error. World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims is held every year on the third Sunday of November. Achola Simon, Sunday Express, Kisumu County.
From Kisumu, we head over to Baku, and the question is, just why did the advisory board of the Santiago Network on Loss and Damage pick Geneva as a host of the Secretariat bypassing Nairobi, despite the Kenyan capital scoring higher than the Swiss capital? That is a question African negotiators are battling with at the COP29, even as climate finance continues to divide the global north and the global south. The AGN and Africa Civil Society have vowed to challenge the decision of the board while fighting to have climate finance to the global south designated as grants and not investments. Obran Kimani has more from Baku, Azerbaijan.
Well, the painstaking and the difficult process of negotiating a COP29 deal continues here in Baku. This is going to be a painstaking process, as I told you. It has always been. It's never easy here at every COP, and that is exactly what is happening here. Countries are taking positions, and of course, party interest is what is reigning supreme here.
On the 25th of March this year, the advisory board of the Santiago Network on Loss and Damage held its first meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, picking Geneva as the host of the Secretariat of the SNLD. The decision shocked many in the climate circles, as Nairobi had emerged as a front-runner to host the critical secretariat that will be in charge of making important decisions on the loss and damage funds.
We celebrated when the Loss and Damage Fund was established. We went on to experience a secretariat that has been formed. And one of us, Ibrahim Sheikh, was appointed the executive director of the Loss and Damage Fund. Just yesterday, he was interviewed that from the pledges of $700 million, how much has been redeemed? From the $700 million to the Loss and Damage Fund, he could not respond and give one figure that this has been redeemed.
Nairobi emerged as the winner according to the assessment that was done by a technical report by the UNOPS UNDRR on the cost effectiveness and cost benefit analysis of various locations around the world. The Kenyan capital outpaced Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, Bonn in Germany, Brussels in Belgium, and Geneva in Switzerland.
By and by, the people who are supposed to take responsibility are abandoning us into negotiations. So in other words, it is us, the South, who are in negotiations. Those who have caused the problem are running away.
The advisory board disregarded the opinion of the technical committee, picking Geneva without any explanation. The African group of negotiators are further calling on the global north to recognize the special needs and circumstances of the African continent and advance the much-needed climate finance with grants of not less than $1.3 trillion annually. This comes as the meeting in Baku entered the critical stage, with technical committees yet to agree on the much-awaited draft text.
let us safeguard our future and the future of the generations to come. It is only that when it is demonstrated here that we are going to be sure that we are together in this match.
On Saturday night, the scheduled closing session was delayed for 5 hours as diplomats tried to find an agreement on the way forward. Some of the issues dividing negotiators include cuts on emissions, who should contribute to the climate finance, who should be eligible to receive the funding, whether it should be entirely grant-based or public-private investment, among other issues.
We're not leaving this venue until the Fat Lady sings. We'll continue to give you daily updates on what is happening here. Today is a Sunday, and of course, delegates are taking a rest before they resume to this task of crafting a COP29 deal tomorrow. O'Brien Kimani is my name. Thank you for joining us from the city of Baku in Azerbaijan.
Now back home, 2 weeks after the promotion of Professor Kithure Kindiki, Kenyans are still waiting for the nomination of the next Interior Cabinet Secretary, considering one of the most critical dockets among the executive. Now the Interior Ministry, the next substantive Cabinet Secretary, is expected to, among others, steer the country's efforts in restoring public confidence in law enforcement. Here's Tilio Marco with a look into the last 2 years and the probable entry that awaits the next security boss.
It has been 2 years of mixed fortunes for the Interior Ministry. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, who served twice as the Cabinet Secretary, defended his scorecard at Harambee House. For 2 weeks, Kenyans have been waiting to know who will replace Professor Kithure Kindiki in a mini rearrangement of President William Ruto's cabinet. 2024 has been one of the most challenging years for the Interior Ministry, stemming from the deadly protests in June and the subsequent cases of forced disappearances. But has it been all gloom for the Ministry of Interior? There has somewhat been relative calm in the banditry-prone areas of the North Rift and the Northeastern region, thanks to Operation Maliza Uhalifu.
The infrastructure that had sustained banditry for over 4 decades has been suppressed and dismantled. Scores of schools in Baringo, Samburu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Turkana, West Pokot, and Laikipia counties have been reopened.
The ministry is also boasting of the ongoing efforts to empower the police service by modernizing it to ensure it is better equipped to handle diverse challenges. The next Cabinet Secretary is expected to oversee the investment of some 29.4 million shillings in the police equipment modernization program over the next 3 years. The new equipment will also bolster the counter-terrorism efforts in the northeastern region and the Boni Enclave in Lamu County. The new Interior Cabinet Secretary will also steer the implementation of the recommendations of the National Task Force on Police Reforms. The report identified 271 areas of reform in the police service, 210 for prisons, and 117 for the National Youth Service. Also in the in-tray is the enhancement of collaboration with the public benefits organizations, a process that had been set rolling by Professor Kithure Kindiki. Being one of the most critical dockets, the Ministry of Interior has often come under sharp scrutiny from the public. Tilio Marco for Sunday Express. It has been
Hey bros, nipatie hiyo risiti ya items.
Wazi wazi. Cheki mimi sina ado hizo na
Excuse, nilete risiti yangu ya items. Asante.
Ani pesa ngapi? 3,000.
Hebu nisaidie na ile risiti ya items.
Nimeshinda mili. I'm the latest millionaire. Marry me, baby.
Yes! Guys, nimeshinda laptop. Nimeshinda TV 50 inches.
G-Nice na Risiti Legit promotion kutoka KRA. Download Risiti Legit app, scan QR code kwenye risiti yako, ujishindie zawadi kem kila wiki. Kuna grand prize ya milioni 3 kwa washindi watatu, milioni kila mmoja.
Je, ungependa kuwa mshindi na Lucky Box? Ni rahisi sana.
Bonyeza *463# uwe mshindi.
Wewe kisi.
Hizi chapati sitakagi mtu angalie, sitakataa kuiba.
Ulienda shule kusomea kupika chapati.
Ameitisha chakula inaitwa fichitish. Karibu customer.
Mimi ni mbuzi. Hii ni tabia gani unajaribu kufanya?
Ongeri. No, emaya kid. Wacha hasira.
Oi, mazi muka watu wanaungana.
Wewe, dae bwana.
Kila mtu anaweza kuwa mshindi. Bonyeza *463#. Uwe mshindi.
Kuchagua box ni kuchagua chapa.
Kumbuka, kila unapocheza Lucky Box unasaidia watoto kusoma.
Change is here.
And this shift is about many things. The country's shifting.
This is Kenya's vision, the journey to development.
KBC is going to be the home to realize, to discuss, to share ideas about this shift and to know where our country is going.
We dissect the rumors. We clarify the perceptions. A clear picture of the status quo. Change is indeed here.
Everything is shifting.
The shift.
Now, welcome back. Nostalgia and excitement ran to the air at a village in Vihiga County Saturday as a section of the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication alumni celebrated the life achievement of their former principal Job Osiako. Now, the alumni who graduated from the Premier Media Institute in the 1990s organized a party at their principal's home, not only to remember the good old days, but more so to honor a man who they attribute their prowess in journalism to. Have a look.
The sense of the saying, never forget your roots, they are foundation of your journey, was evident on the faces of these men and women. Singing and dancing their hearts out to celebrate their former principal at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, Job Osiako, at his home in Esongolo in Emuhaya, Vihiga County.
Kwa kazi nzuri ambayo alitufanyia wakati tukiwa shuleni.
Alipoingia KNC hakukuwa na drama na traditional dance. Alipofika hapo akaanzisha drama na traditional dance.
Graduation 94-97 cohort. Hata kabla ya kugraduate, siku hiyo kazi ilikuwa direct.
Most of them are renowned journalists, courtesy of his legacy at KIMC that spanned from 1987 to 2002.
Mgeni wa heshima, Principal Job Osiako, I'm very glad that you made me what I am.
You are the person who has molded me to who I am today.
Kama si bwana Osiako kulimenta vizuri sana mahali ambapo nafanya kazi, nimeweza kusafiri dunia nzima.
Na naweza sema he's a gem, actually. He is a gem.
An elated Osiako went philosophical, saying a teacher plants seeds of knowledge that grow forever with gratitude watering them. They showered him with a cake, ropes representing 2 heifer cows, a portrait of him, and cash.
From KIMC alumni, Makofi.
Expressing his gratitude, he asked the Kenyan media to uphold professionalism.
We have very sharp people in the media. We are people who are critical. We are people who are speaking.
He also lauded the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation for honing journalists while rooting for adequate funding of training institutions.
That sets the pace. Most countries have a station such as, national stations such as KBC, on which the others gauge themselves.
The 79-year-old Osiako, who is now a pastor, had prior to heading KIMC also served as a principal of Njoro Boys, Upper Hill and Eastleigh High Schools. Kamchemenza for the Sunday Express.
A true testament to give flowers when the person is still alive to enjoy them and smell the aroma. Now to the counties. Deputy Chief of Staff Performance and Delivery Management in the Executive Office of the President, Eli Lowalo, has affirmed the government's commitment in completing various priority projects initiated by the national government in Lamu County. These and other stories in our county news roundup.
Deputy Chief of Staff Performance and Delivery Management in the Executive Office of the President, Eli Lowalo, said a number of projects in Lamu County were on course, among them Manda Island Electrification Project.
Serikali sasa imeweka pesa jumla ya shilingi milioni 123 kwa programu ya stima ambayo itaunganisha stima kwanza kwa maafisi za serikali, mahospitali na mashule zote eneo hiyo.
And Bishop Joseph Obanyi of the Catholic Diocese of Kakamega has called upon the government to expedite the appointment of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission commissioners.
We are praying, and that's why we are asking for the IEBC and so on, so that people are given their freedom to exercise truly their democratic rights.
Meanwhile, congregants at God's Arena Embassy Church in Migori County were left stranded, unable to attend Sunday service after they were locked out of the premises.
This is a message to whoever is doing this thing. You cannot fight the church and win. We are not here for any competition or for fight with anybody. We are here to preach the gospel and to help the people.
Elsewhere, the family of a social media blogger Eutychus Ngetru, who is said to have been part of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's communications team, claims he was abducted from his home in Keritu, Kiguma constituency in Murang'a County.
Kijana ambaye ameshikwa ako na degree yake amesoma lakini hana kazi. Kutumia yule mtandao wake kujitafutia kitu ya kukula isimgharimu kuwekwa seri na kudhurumiwa kwa wazazi.
And the president of the Africa Asia Middle East Chamber of Commerce, Peter Mutinda, has officially launched his book The Last Minute Adrenaline that challenges individuals to make critical decisions about life early on.
The book encourages us to harness the power of the last minute early. It challenges the common notion that we must wait until the final hour to make critical decisions.
Finally, farmers have been encouraged to consider integrating agroecology to reduce the cost of production.
Kiwa na ile hata kama hatuna fedha, tunaweza tukatumia ile mbolea yetu yenye tunajitengenezea na mazao yetu tu yanakuwa sawa.
Edith Mwangi for Sunday Express.
The power of last minute there, isn't it? Now, talking about last minute, Daniel Wahome, you can see him there on the other side of the studio. Big question is, now that we lost in our game there in as far as Harambee Stars, what happens to us come 2027? Over to you, Wahome.
Automatically qualified alongside Uganda and Tanzania. So focus is on that now. But let's now move on to what we've prepared for you from our desk today. And the Kenya Utalii College are the overall winners of the Universities and Colleges Football League after bagging 32 points in the 2023-2024 season. The league attracted 8 teams across the country.
The Kenya Utalii College team bagged the title after winning 10 matches, drawing twice and losing 2 matches, beating Thika School and Medical Health Science Training College, who finished second with 24 points, while NYS finished third with 23 points.
Game ilikuwa 50-50 kwa vijana wangu wamejitahidi. Na hapo nitakuwa rahisi, lakini at the end of the day tumeenda kwa matuta penalty, tumeibuka washindi. So to the other side, thank God for that.
We work so hard to get this. Actually, this is our second trophy and we are going to get the third trophy.
In the women's category, Technical University of Kenya emerged victorious on 17 points ahead of NYS and Thika School of Medical Health Science Training College, who finished second and third respectively.
Imekuwa tough but tumejaribu.
ndo tufike hapa, vitu tumepitia ni mingi. Sisi kama team tulikuwa tumejipanga tukianza season, tukasema it's either us or us. Ndo tukapiga hiyo win na tunafurahia kwa hii ushindi.
Speaking after the event, Maurice Ocheng, chairman of the Universities and Colleges Football League, urged the Ministry of Sports to support them as a way to improve the sport.
I want to become the president of Kenya Universities Sports Federation, so that what you are seeing here, I can even cascade it to Kenya University Sports Games.
They all come up and be at par with the others in matter sport. We've been having a lot of challenges, but those challenges have to be talked about, and we are soon going to rectify some of the things. The league is not as par as to the standard we wanted.
For Sunday Express, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Now, Lindsay men's handball team wrapped their weekend on a high when they beat NYS 42-22 in an Entertainment Kenya Handball League match played at the Ulinzi Complex here in Nairobi. Ulinzi took an early lead through Solomon Kanalewa and held on to win the first half 24-11. In the second half, NYS offered little resistance as Ulinzi ran away with the well-deserved victory of 42-22. In other matches, Hunters secured a 25-20 win over Heatwave, while Daystar University registered a 49-16 victory over the Mountain Primes. Now, Tanzania increased their chances of taking part in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations after a 2-0 win against Ethiopia. Guinea, who hold an advantage over Tanzania, beat Group H leaders DR Congo by a solitary goal in another qualifier. Tanzania and Guinea will meet in Dar es Salaam on Tuesday evening to decide who books their ticket to the continental showpiece as the qualifying phase comes to an end.
The corner comes into the near post, and there's the opener. The Ethiopian defence caught pretty much asleep there. That's really good play. An intelligent ball over to the left-hand side. Again, kept in place, standing up on the artificial surface. The ball coming in, brilliant save, but can't do anything about the follow-up.
And Uruguay edged Colombia by 3-2 in the 2026 CONMEBOL FIFA World Cup qualifiers as Peru were held to a goalless draw by Chile. In other matches, Honduras beat Mexico 2-0 and goal 2-0.
Quintero, Sarachi with the cross, the deflection, oh, an own goal! Goal! To cross that in, Araujo, backwards for Aguirre! What a fight from Pelistri and Nandes on that right area of the pitch. The header inside. Trying to turn is Sanchez. Lobbing it for Mojica. The header. It's there for Gomez.
And that's the sport for tonight as we head into match A6 of AFCON qualifiers. Just 5 slots remain. And remember, Kenya play against Namibia in the dead rubber on Tuesday. Short break, and when we come back, Regina will be speaking with Inspector General of Police, Dr. Rezila Onyango, who is the National Police Service spokesperson, and Cecilia Mboya, who's a counseling psychologist, and the topic is mental illness.
Season hatuchezi tu, tunasaidia na tunashinda. Kupitia *570# na kuchagua option number 4, you stand a chance ya kujishindia this beautiful, sleek Toyota Probox. With a 1500cc engine, fuel consumption iko chini. Exterior iko sawa, and let's not forget, iko na a spacious boot. Iko na sound system nzuri sana with speakers on both sides, phone holder na touchscreen monitor. Ukijishindia hii gari, there is so much you can do. Kama ni kuendea stock sokoni, hii gari itakufaa. Kama ni transportation, iko sawa. Dial *570#, chagua option number 4 na uchomoke na this Toyota Probox hii December.
Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC Online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sport, music, entertainment news, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hands. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital App in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital App.
Tonight, we're looking at people who are often vilified as they execute their duties. These are the men and women in uniform. Statistics already indicate that they carry the highest burden in as far as gender-based violence, suicide, and post-traumatic stress disorder. What is being done? Are there interventions? Tonight, those are the questions that we're going to be putting to my panel that is made up of none other on my immediate left. That is Dr. Regina Onyango, the Assistant Inspector General, National Police Service spokesperson. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time. And the far end on my left is none other than Madam Cecilia Mboya, who is a counseling psychologist at the Africa International University. How's it going so far? That's that. How's your day so far? Your
The day has been fine. Sunday, it's been quiet. The country has been quiet, and we are moving on.
When I hear from a person in uniform saying the country is quiet, I best believe that it is quiet.
Sure it is.
All right. Yes. Madam Boya, how's been your day so far?
My day was great. I had a peaceful day.
You had a peaceful day?
Yes.
Then we start on that particular note.
Yes.
Statistics do not lie.
Yes.
And we've seen the grim statistics when it comes to matters of mental health in this particular demographic. And that's why we're here this evening. From a psychologist's point of view, why do you think that this particular demographic, our men and women in uniform, carry this highest burden when it comes to mental health?
Thank you for this opportunity to come address some of those issues. One of the greatest challenges police force has is that they have all the problems we have as civilians. Then on top of that, they have challenging work, challenging job. They're always in dangerous positions. They're always fighting. They're keeping the law. They are making sure that we are safe. And that means their job is challenging. The environment they have to work in, call of duty, sometimes they have to work for long hours, far from the people who love them, their family members. Sometimes the environment they're working in is not very encouraging, and all those kind of things contribute to some of the things that you see with them. Mm-hmm. And especially some, they are very traumatic experience that they go through. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, Dr. Regina Onyango, you have been in this profession for quite the number of years. Yeah. Give us a sneak peek to one of your most harrowing days in your career.
Well, there are quite a bit.
Yes, just pick one out of the many.
When a kid has been defiled, and a very young child, a child of tender age, and then we had to make the child explain. I was in Buruburu police station at that time. And that takes a toll on you at the end of the day.
Yes.
And the reality that is a child, and then there is the police officer that has to listen to that story and try to make sense out of what the child is saying. And it's not one child. This is an incident, similar incidences, as Cecilia says, the nature of our work, as it were. You'll find the experiences we go through, the accidents we see, the very disturbing scenes of crime that we manage, and we finish that and nobody's there to console us
we do it and we wait for the next.
Yeah.
That takes a toll on any police officer.
Now, from a personal point of view, how have you handled it over the years?
It may be for me personal.
Yes.
We are all having different personalities, but I've never sat before a councillor to be cancelled. Yeah, so it already speaks to volumes to the nature of our work, that we go through all this, and we also don't talk about it very easily for the debrief. So it may not be a personal issue. It's what the work entails. The nature of the work, the stress that goes with it. The toughness is part of the training. That the police officers, sometimes you forget that we are also human beings. But we are as human as you are. It's only that the call of duty that we have makes us to remain a little bit stronger in the face of danger, in the face of those very harrowing incidences that we see or experiences, so that we be there to serve the people that we've been called to serve, which is humanity. So that's where we normally draw the line. So at the end of the day, it takes a higher toll on us, more than it would take on an ordinary member of public.
So for Dr. Razila, I mean, what has been your anchor? And I'm asking this because so that we can understand. We know we have different dynamics as humans.
Yeah.
But from where you sit, what is it that has held you together all through these years of service?
I think I just stay close with a few friends. I talk.
Okay.
To be honest, I talk with one or two friends that you trust along the way, and there are those I've trusted along the careers. Some of them are very senior to me, but they've been friends for over the years. At least that has helped, because we go through different experiences. Apart from what you see at work, as Cecilia said, we live very far from our families. And that also is a very big challenge to us, and you have to get somebody to talk with. So apart from my faith, talking with a colleague is one thing that I would encourage at all times.
Now, Cecilia, you've actually had a direct testimonial, so to speak, tonight on this particular panel. That the workload and the work itself is not conducive, but it has to be done because that is law enforcement. And something has come up that a majority feel that they cannot seek counseling, or there's no room to actually seek counseling. How do we address this?
One thing I really want to appreciate National Police Commission Service Commission. They have this program for counseling. We had this at Africa International University this last week, and we saw that we were able to interact with the program. They have, and that's why we are doing partnership. We have very trained counselors in police force. They are doing great job there. The only challenge is that they may need more capacity. And that's why Africa International is coming in to address, to increase the capacity, the awareness, and also increase the manpower and more awareness. We are saying we want to make people understand police officers are our parents, our fathers and our mothers. They are our children. They are our brothers and our sisters. They have families back home. When we are throwing all those bad things to them because of few incidences here and there, we need to understand, to humanize what they do. These are human beings. It's only that maybe because they look like they are in the newspaper, in the media. They don't look like people. These are our brothers, our sisters, everything. And that is what Africa International University, through the leadership of our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Nelson Makanda, we have decided to partner with them to address these issues, to add to what they have. They are already doing a lot, by the way. Counseling. A lot of things is happening. Support. And then support, and then train more, so that we can get peer counselors also, who can also go, like if this madam comes to AIU, for example, she be trained, she will influence her friends, friends will influence the others. Where we cannot reach,
they will reach. Capacity building.
Yes, capacity building.
We take a fast break. Tonight, remember, you can get us on our various socials, including on X at KBC Channel 1. And the question tonight we're posing to you is, why do you think our police officers are susceptible to committing suicide? Let us know what you think about that. You can get us on X at KBC Channel 1. Tonight, we're talking about mental health, the interventions therein, as well as why we need it. A quick breather. We'll be right back.
Je, ungependa kuwa mshindi na Lucky Box? Ni rahisi sana.
Bonyeza *463# uwe mshindi.
Kuna vitu vingi sana vya kushinda.
Kama vile TV, kuka, washing machine, fridge, kipiki, pesa na hata gari. Na sio gari tu, Subaru.
Na kuna jackpots kadha wa kadha. Kuna power jackpot ya 1.9 million.
Mega jackpot 2.5 million.
Na Super Sunday ya 3 million Kenya shillings. Kila mtu anaweza kuwa mshindi. Bonyeza *463#. Uwe mshindi.
Kuchagua box ni kuchagua chapa.
Kumbuka, kila unapocheza Lucky Box unasaidia watoto kusoma.
We Jakisi.
Isi chapati sitakagi mtu angalie, sitakataa kuiba.
Ulienda shule kusomea kupika chapati.
Ameitisha chakula inaitwa fitish. Karibu customer.
Mimi ni mbuzi.
Hii ni tabia gani unajaribu kufanya?
Ongeri. No, ema yake. Wacha hasira.
Wewe.
Dae bwana. Nimekungua no. Unakaa umesibu ndio kula nini tena?
Unachua anasema, anasema usiposiba ukuta unaisia ukingoni.
Mimi na wachianga watu tape. I'm a very big taper.
Yeah.
You can keep the change.
10.
Yeah, 10.
10 bob.
10 shillings.
Mental health issues among our police officers. That's a conversation tonight. And before we took that breather, we were having Cecilia Mboiza, a counseling psychologist, tell us that it is the perceptions of the public, that have painted police officers as being more out of touch. We're joined by none other than Dr. Regina Onyango, who is Assistant Inspector General and National Police Service spokesperson. So, as a law enforcement officer, you're so human. But then, how do you draw the line when your call of duty actually puts you on a collision course with the very public that you're supposed to protect? How do you balance?
It all goes back to the training.
Yes.
We are trained as law enforcement officers. We are properly trained. Of course, there is no limit to training. Training should be continuous, which we encourage. And that's why even in our objectives within even in the Constitution, one of the objectives of the National Police Service is you keep striving for the training of officers to the highest level of competency. And so professionalism is what we strive always to maintain and to achieve. So, and we took an oath of service also to serve. Remember, our main mandate is to protect life and property. We are here to serve and to protect. So you just balance based on your training and the oath of service, and officers have the discretion, that discretionary power to make the decision. Remember, our work is defined by danger. Our work calls for split-second decision-making that we have to make as individual officers. And so all these things come into foreplay. The circumstances under which officers are operating will determine how they are going to react and the kind of decisions they are going to make.
Split decision-making. Now, I want some of the views have come in that have said, then, ask Daktari, how do you say no to your superiors?
Yeah.
Because this is something that has been raised by junior officers.
Yeah, that's an excellent
question. And we want to know
question.
if there is a cause of, redress for junior officers who feel that either the duties that they said, how do you say no, the police force?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, as
Yes.
I've already said. We are not trained to take unlawful commands. we are trained to take lawful commands. That is how officers are supposed to operate. But then there are also mechanisms that are in place to address grievances of officers themselves. As we said, officers are also human beings, and there's no perfect community. They may also reach a point where they feel they need to be helped from outside, and that's why we have even the oversight authorities. Okay, we have the internal one, which is the internal oversight authority within the police, but very independent in terms of their operations. Then we have the external oversight authority, which is IPOA. You know, they also, when a complaint is raised against police, whether it is raised by a police officer or a member of public, they will be able to help the police. So officers, and of course there is the court, so officers are not tied, that they cannot seek help outside. But as much as the professional conduct is, a good leader, you will give officers the right command.
The right command.
Yeah.
So is there room to actually, for a junior officer to not comply with a command? Since
unlawful.
Said, yes.
Unlawful. They have
an unlawful
yes,
command.
they have the right not to comply.
All right.
Yeah, unlawful command.
I hope that answers your question back at home. Remember, we are open and we're taking your comments. You can get us on X. We are unpacking mental health issues, just looking at what is really affecting our servicemen. And thank you very much for your feedback. Keep it coming. Our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1. That is on X. Now, transparency and openness is something that, transparency is something that the police force is struggling with. Would want to know how then this has affected how you carry out your law enforcement, duties with the members of the public. Do they let you? How is the feeling on ground, especially for the last several months that we find ourselves?
One of the objects that the National Police Service is tasked with in the Constitution touches on promoting transparency and accountability. That is one of the objectives. And so I've already mentioned that one way to enhance accountability within the service and transparency is the oversight authorities, which I've already mentioned. As a service, ourselves, I think we've opened up very much. The police has changed very much.
Yes,
yeah. So right now we have very many avenues of communication with the police, even through the media. We are even on social media. We one-on-one, communication with the people who are affected. So we remain accountable to the members of public because we are here to serve the members of public.
Now that you're talking about service to members of public, we understand that you have rolled out a counseling program targeting men and women in uniform. Maybe Cecilia Mboya, you can tell us exactly what it entails, and also we can hear from Daktari then, who are the main beneficiaries?
Thank you so much for that. We have rolled, last this week, on Wednesday, we had this launch. And it is, the partners are 3. We have Disability Mainstreaming Foundation of Kenya. We have National Police Service Commission and Africa International University.
Okay.
The aim of this launch is to advocacy. Part of it is advocacy. We want to have people more, especially police force, more aware of the mental health issues and how they can be assisted. So this partnership is just one of the sectoral approach to assist the police force, and also training.
So to assist the police and also build capacity. Now, Dr. Regina, this particular partnership or training in terms of counseling, who does it benefit? How does one benefit from that?
Maybe I bring you as to how we come into this program. One is to appreciate that addressing matters of mental health in the National Police Service are very critical. And these are very pertinent issues for the fact that we've laid the ground that officers work under circumstances that are stressful by the nature of the work, and so we are more susceptible to mental illness than general public. So IG, our IG, Mr. Douglas Kanja, he has a priority to transform police stations into centers of excellence for service delivery to wananchi. And he looks at it, or as a service, we look at it from this way. One, how do you transform the police stations? One, you train officers so that when you train the station commanders, for instance, you are able to standardize the way they are going to serve wananchi, so that when you walk into a police station here in Central Police Station, another person walks into a police station in Turkana, the services should be the same. Yes. Yeah, I shouldn't have to know somebody for me to be served. That is one. Number two is to address the issue of mental health. For the fact that if you don't have mentally stable officers, you will not get that standard or quality service that you want. And so this is how we came into partnership with the Africa International University, the disability mainstreaming, so that, as Cecilia has said, we have counselors. Yes, the National Police Service Commission has deployed for us some counselors, but they are few compared to the numbers of officers that we are.
So it builds also capacity.
Yes, so they are helping us build the capacity and to decentralize the services down to the levels where we are able to reach the officers. And the best place to reach officers is at the station level.
Is it open to everyone, including those who retired from the force?
No.
Okay.
For now, unless Cecilia, you have opened it to them, as far as I know, it's mainly targeting officers who are in the service. But they could be generous enough to have extended that, which we will still appreciate to hear from her.
What is happening at the moment?
As we come to a close,
yes,
I know we have another moment.
At the moment, we are accommodating, we are having the current ones and their families for counseling.
Okay.
And training them. But Africa International University has some, to make it affordable, they are giving 50% discount.
So it is not entirely free?
You see, we have manpower, we have those who train.
Okay.
That's why we are giving 50%.
By 50%. So
yes,
I want to give Dr. Regina the last parting shot as we come to a close, since we are out of time. Just close the Sunday Express for us with a clarion call in regard to matters of wellness, mental well.
I will tell
That's your camera there as we come to a close.
I just tell fellow Kenyans that police officers, we are your brothers, we are your sisters, and above all, we are human beings also as yourselves. We are here to serve you, and we ask you to just work with us and appreciate that we work at some of the most challenging circumstances, from the borders of the country to the lowest coast of the country, even to the urban centers. Our work is much more tasking and more challenging than the general work. Thank you.
You've heard it from Madam Regina Nyango there, and she closes for us this particular Sunday Express program. Cecilia Mboya was also here with us from a counseling point of view, is that police officers, men and women, are human. Let's try and remember that. Have a pleasant week ahead. I'm Regina Manyara.
Christmas imefika na zawadi zake zimefika, na kama wewe ni memba wa Nutunutu, usiogope, itisha, tutakufikishia. Nini unataka, ikuwe ni yako ama ya mwenzako? Dial *5